The Remembering Them podcast is a platform for people to share stories and memories of their loved ones who have passed away. The podcast was created in memory of Dad, Bob Cecil. May he rest in peace. Your hosts Mark, Ryan, and Luke acknowledge the rich history and importance of storytelling within Indigenous culture.
My name is Jorgi Skeen, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Hello, Luke. Welcome back to the podcast.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. Luke and only Luke. Ryan is not with us this evening. Why is he not with us, Luke? I think you have the reason why he's not here.
Oh, I heard from him earlier. He's on a little retreat. He needs a bit of time out. So he's not sipping Mai Tais or anything. He's drinking tea and he's just hanging out in his little tree house, I think. I don't actually
Oh,
know.
intrigued. I was going to say, what type of retreat?
Yeah, like little tree tea house retreat. It's a bit niche. It's he reckons it's going to be the new thing up and coming. So good for him. I get it. Take some time out, mate. So this
Yeah.
one's on us, Ryan. Don't worry about it.
Right. And enjoy the tree retreat away, and we look forward to you joining us again. Obviously, somewhere with no
I don't.
internet connection. Three
Where are we
clues
going
for you,
today,
Luke,
mate?
as always. Play along at home if you, as always, with these guesses. We haven't done this for a while. That's why we're a little bit rusty. Clue number one for you, Luke. Looking for a city. Clue number one, a fast food dish made of sausage, ketchup, that might be a clue, tomato sauce for the Aussies, and curry powder was invented here after World War II and remains iconic today.
Wow, what was that first ingredient?
Sausage.
Sausage, ketchup, and curry. Uh,
You will definitely know this city. It's a big city.
Man, that's weird. Uh, Ketchup. Is ketchup American or is it British? It's American, isn't it? Pretty sure it's American. Yeah. Or Canadian. Uh, Man, I have no idea. Let's go with LA.
Not Los Angeles.
Damn.
Hopefully you've got it at home or you're close. Clue number two, despite being a major city, it boasts more bridges than Venice and is one of the greenest capitals in Europe. Here's a big clue for you.
Okay. Bridges. Ketchup.
Capital city, Europe.
Damn, this is a tough one. Our time zones are out of whack too. Man. I don't even know bridges. Norway.
Norway, the city, or Norway, the
Yeah,
country?
Oslo.
Okay, not Oslo.
You always catch us out on that.
Yeah.
The city or the country?
Clue number three. This city has one of the most extensive underground bunker and tunnel systems still intact from World War II. So a couple of World War II clues there. Big city in Europe. Sausages, they may call it something else.
Spotted dick, I think they call it. Potentially. Oh man, we're in. I got three countries. It's either like what, England or France or Germany. Am I at least right with those three?
You are right with one of those three countries.
Oh, great. That narrowed it down. Munich.
Not Munich, but you are in the right country. We are in. This is exciting because we haven't been to this.
Yeah, this is sick.
Yeah, brand new country city that we haven't ventured to before. I had a guess from. We're in Berlin, Germany.
Okay, that's the capital.
So the dish is called currywurst. It was invented in Berlin in 1949 by Herta uh, sorry if I pronounce this incorrectly, Herver, Heuwer, Herver. Berlin, of course, is the capital of Germany and a vibrant cultural hub known for its history, art, and progressive spirit. From the remnants of the Berlin Wall to its world-class museums and nightlife, the city blends past and present like nowhere else. So our guest today, excitingly, as I said to you, we don't have had a guest from Berlin or Germany for that matter. A guest today, she works as a systemic coach and grief specialist. She lives alone and is single, divorced a few years ago. She grew up in Russia, and the rest of her biological family still lives there. She loves dancing. This is right down your alley. Salsa,
Oh yeah.
according to one of the past episode misses you had, and a couple of other genres that I haven't heard of, and I'm not going to try and pronounce them. Doing sports and yoga, reading, being in nature, like Ryan, and spending time with friends and animals. She's passionate about all things related to psychology and health, something that not a lot of people might know about her. She did 2.5 years PhD research in social anthropology, focusing on Mexico. Ended the program shortly before completion because she immigrated to Germany and decided to let it go. She's been vegan for more than 10 years. Our guest from Berlin in Germany is Elena Winkelmann. Welcome to the podcast officially, Elena. Thank you for joining us all the way from Berlin in Germany.
Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honored to be here.
We're honored to have you. You'll be excited to know that you're the very first, or we're excited anyway. You might not be excited, but the very first guest that we've had from Germany and Berlin as well, of course.
I'm excited as well. I mean, Berlin is my chosen home. I'm
Yes,
actually,
yes.
yeah, I have another origin, but yeah, I'm happy to be the first one.
Yes. Well, thank you. We did mention it in the intro, and you hear that when we talk back to it. We'll jump straight in, Elena. Who are we talking about today, and why? Who are you on the podcast, and what happened to that special loved one?
Yeah, I've had several losses. As the wish is to talk about one, I think I'll talk about my mom.
Yep. And what happened to your mom? How long ago? And how did she pass away?
She passed away 6 years ago, and from cancer. And as it usually takes with cancer, or in many cases, it took a while. It took 4 years for her to come to this final stage. Yeah, so there was quite a lot of anticipatory grief around treatments and decisions and all the stuff.
And what type of cancer was that, Elena?
It was multiply cancer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and she was. We mentioned in the introduction as well. Your biological family are all back in Russia. So, assuming
Yeah.
were you in Berlin or in Germany at that stage, or
Yeah, I
was
was in Germany. It was actually shortly after I immigrated.
yeah,
And that was hard for me as well because I couldn't visit that often. So I used all my vacation days back then to visit her and to take care of her. And of course, it added some layers of stress and grief on that because I couldn't be there as often as I wanted to because I had to build my life from scratch in another country.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's an added layer, I guess, that
Yeah.
we may have spoken to other guests before as well, but certainly something that um, yeah, it's just another consideration, I guess, that some people may or may not have to deal with. What was that like? How did you get informed, and then how did you process that, and then how did you, I guess, practically manage kind of things, juggle everything?
Could you please repeat the last question? How
Yeah,
did I
you
get
cut out for a
informed?
second there.
Oh, sorry. How did you juggle things practically, I guess, with life, and as you said, trying to build your life?
Uh, Somehow,
Yeah.
you just do it somehow. I
Yeah.
guess I wasn't really prepared, though it was one of the latest losses I had. So I had a series of other losses before, so I was not new to grief, but this kind of loss was way bigger because I was very attached to my mom, and the relationship was very complex. Also, it was not a straightforward, good relationship. It was mixed. And in these types of relationships, the grief is also mixed. I mean, it's
Mm.
always mixed, actually,
Yes.
but there are like layers of also of guilt, of hopes, of expectations, or angry, and like being angry and stuff. So yeah, I did my best to just put all my resources into visiting and taking care, and I think I've overdid that because I was really burnt out. But I don't know anyone who wouldn't after
Mm.
these phases of life. So I guess I just did my best. Yeah.
Yeah. Elena, how would you describe your mum to us, to strangers?
Oh yeah, you would love her, I'm sure. Uh, she was. I grew up in the countryside in a Russian village, and so it was pretty traditional community, and especially when it comes to gender roles and all the other stuff. So pretty much traditional. And my family was a bit on an outsider side because they were all teachers, and my mom was a foreign language teacher. So she had access to these foreign cultures, at least language wise. And she visited also, she went to Europe back then in the Soviet Union. So she was very much open minded compared to other people. And I think I inherited that from her, luckily, or I hope so. And she was very curious and very nerdy in a way. So she was doing some research about the local history and was all over the place talking to people, and was very social, and everyone admired her as a teacher. And she was very resilient also because, as it happens often, still there. My father neglected us very early, so she had to raise myself and my sister alone, and she gave her best, absolutely best. And of course, maybe it also affected her health. I
Mm.
do think so, because of her hard work and her dedication. Yeah, still, she was really, really fun person and really curious and really uh, um, like with a big heart. The person people would come to talk to, and till her last days, people would come, her former students and her colleagues, and visit her, and it was very touching to see that. So I do believe that she was just an outstanding person. That is very rare to find that kind of context.
You mentioned you being like her in some aspects. What lessons did you learn from her that might be easy as a teacher, but are there any life lessons, I guess, that you learned from your mum?
Yeah, yeah. To try to do your best when being with people, being kind, being helpful, having an open heart for good people, like, and also for bad people sometimes as well. My whole family was like that, and my mom was the best example. And to be curious, not to give up the curiosity and open-mindedness till the end. She was very curious about the world and learning, and also as a woman, especially a woman from pretty traditional context, I think I learned from her this freedom that we should have, all women should have. I mean, she had it to very limited extent because of the context, but she gave us, myself and my sister, this sense that we should be independent, we should be educated, and go abroad and do whatever we want to do. So I really appreciate that because it's not something that everyone has there. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
woman.
Would you say
Elena,
that? Oh, you go, Luke. Sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was your mum a good cook, Elena?
Terrible. No, she
Terrible.
was.
Okay. Never mind, Mark. You can ask the question.
Yeah.
No, actually, I see it as an advantage because she was not into household at all. Like at all. It was a mess usually because also she was hardworking, like no time for household. But also it was different from other families because most families there were like focused on cleanliness, and every week they would clean the whole thing, and like our house was a mess, and no one cared, and there was like, and that's why there was not such a pressure. You're a woman, you have to learn to cook or you have to clean, because she didn't.
Yeah.
And well, a bit too much, to be honest. I would appreciate it. Would have appreciated some like shared meals or like some certain traditions maybe, but I had this from my grandmother, so still
Okay.
something. But I appreciate this like easygoing household.
We didn't get what was Mum's name, Elena? We didn't catch that at the start.
Yeah, Olga.
Olga.
Okay.
Excellent.
And how old was Olga?
She died when she was 55.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very young. Very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory or story of Olga, Elena, when you were growing up or even later in life?
Yeah, I think growing up is difficult because the relationship was like, it was mixed household, like pretty unstable. But from my adult years, I do have, especially from her last years, because when she was 50, she got remarried very happily to her former classmate. They met after 20 years after finishing college or school, whatever it was. And they fell in love and both divorced with adult kids. And so they decided to be together. And she was very shy. And we are adults, my sister and I. So we're like, Mom, come on, go for it. And they were like teenagers. They were just so shy, like hiding in the corners, and all this sweet stuff. And it was just so sweet. Like, absolutely. I was very happy for her that at the end of her life, she found someone to support her and to share all the things she couldn't share with anyone. Like, she considered them silly. I consider them really nice, like to go to the rooftop to watch the stars or to go to the forest to find something, whatever they wanted to find. They're like, to go on adventures, basically. And so she found this person in the end of her life, and he took care of her as well. And I'm really grateful. It was very sweet to watch. Yeah.
This is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. Hey Luke and Ryan, life gets heavy sometimes, especially when grief hits. For me, that weight often shows up as anxiety.
Yeah, it's not always one big thing. Sometimes it's just life piling up, work, relationships, trying to hold it all together. Suddenly, I'm anxious and don't know why.
Totally. I used to think anxiety meant panic attacks, but for me, it's more like overthinking every choice or feeling like I'm never doing enough.
And it can even hit on good days. Out of nowhere, I'm spiraling over things that haven't even happened yet.
It's easy to feel alone in it, but you're not.
That's why we're talking about our paid partner, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp connects you with credentialed therapists who can help manage anxiety and more.
Most people go to BetterHelp for anxiety, and 69% feel better after just 6 weeks.
Getting started is simple. Fill out a quick questionnaire and get matched with a therapist. If it's not a fit, you can switch at any time.
Their support team is super responsive, and with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 Trustpilot rating, it's a platform you can count on.
So let BetterHelp help manage your anxiety so it doesn't manage you.
Click the link below or go to betterhelp.com/rememberingthem for 10% off your first month.
Yeah.
Elena, how do you, and maybe even your sister as well, or the rest of the family, how do you remember your mum today, or how do you honour her?
I wish we could do that a bit more, because this is also the culture or our family culture that we don't talk about things, and everyone is just like doing their own stuff. It's just not common to talk about feelings, but with time, because I got educated, like I got trained as a grief professional, so I do that professionally, and I got to understand the meanings, or how meaningful the rituals are, how meaningful the connection is, and the memories and the legacy. And so I tried to do something, but now it's like we have a group family chat in WhatsApp. It consists of 3 people, so we don't have many people left. So it's my uncle and my sister. So uncle, my mom's brother. And usually on her birthday is in May, so it was recently, and I send the pictures of her and saying, hey, I'm celebrating mom today. And sometimes they send pictures back. So it's like basically we don't talk, but we send pictures. That's the way. And my sister is a bit more open to talk, so sometimes I talk a little bit, but my uncle is like not. But also I think I haven't tried much. So I'm flying there for the first time since she passed away. I'm flying in 2 weeks. And it's a big thing for me because on the day of her funerals, I just ran away with the first flight. I couldn't bear that because of many other losses that happened before her. The whole like our community, like with 2 houses there, it looked like a ghost town, you know, no one left and it was all empty, and I couldn't bear that, and I left after managing like the practical stuff, and I've never came back. And now it's the first time for me to face that again. I'm
Wow.
excited and terrified at the same time.
Yeah.
Is your sister or your uncle there as well?
Yeah, I mean, they live in another city, so no one lives actually in the same, you know, hometown. But we still have an empty house there, like a kind of museum. So I don't know what to expect from visiting it, but it's time.
The Remembering Them podcast is supported by My Legacy Message. How do you want to be remembered? My Legacy Message provides a service that delivers a personalized keepsake video to your loved ones, often as a surprise after you pass. My Legacy Message. Be remembered.
It's time to go.
Wow. So that's 4 years, did you say, since you've
6 years.
been?
6
years. Wow. That's a long time. And what are those? You mentioned you're not sure what to expect, but 2 weeks time, that's not too far away. What are your feelings? Are you anxious about it? Are you feeling excited, or a mix of things?
Everything all together. Of course, I'm really happy to see my sister and to spend time with her and her kids, because I've barely known her kids. They are little. We know each other only per like video and WhatsApp. But of course, they're in this sweet age that I want to cuddle them and to play with them and, you know, to be involved somehow as an aunt. That's I'm looking forward to that, because it's hard to be in a different country without any like family. And though it's a happy life, but still like there's this part, roots, whatever that means. And but also other parts kind of terrify me, because I'm going also to say goodbye to my grandmother, my last grandmother that I have left. And she's unwell. She's very old and sick, so it's
Okay.
probably the last time I will see her. So of course it's the right thing to do, but of course it doesn't bring me any excitement. And also a couple of other family stuff, so it's all very complex out there.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I
Elena,
wasn't very comfortable. Yeah.
do you feel as though what you've learned, and I guess this may be a lesson, and maybe the question I'm asking is around if you have advice for anyone, and this is perfect given your line of work now, but advice for people who may go through something like you with the passing of your mother over that time span of years, and her progression or regression probably is more accurate with the cancer. So for someone else that will go through something similar to yourself, maybe with the distance as well and those difficulties, any advice that you could pass on to someone, how either you handled it or could have handled it better?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah. It's easy to give advice from now, because when you are inside of this situation, it's very emotional, and life goes on, or like keeps on happening. I think to be more focused on self-care, not to neglect self-care, to put boundaries, like to protect yourself as much as you can. Of course, to be involved in caretaking and all the decisions, because that's what's needed, but also not to forget your own boundaries, because it's very easy to get absorbed by always thinking about it, always waiting, hoping, looking for solutions. But sometimes we cannot do anything, and then we can feel guilty for that, because I think the guilt is the most difficult part, because what I've learned, the guilt can cover actually our helplessness and our lack of control. So we start feeling guilty for something we can't even control, and then we can get into this spiraling, and grasping into something that is just not there. So like I wish I had known that before, but of course I know it exactly because of that. And to take care of yourself, to prioritize your sleep, like the basics, because you will need this energy for all this journey and after that. And of course, to spend meaningful time with those people, because sometimes you get absorbed by the responsibilities and we are also tired. On a distance, it's more difficult, but still, like having some conversations, maybe asking questions that that haven't been asked, or collecting memories, maybe watching a movie together, even over Skype, it's possible, or now, like whatever, FaceTime, or spending some meaningful moments and not getting absorbed in the disease or waiting or something, because they are still there and it's worth using those moments. Yeah, maybe even doing a memory book or doing some pictures. And also, nothing wrong with preparing for what comes, for practicalities. It may sound like weird. I also have done this, like, with heritage and like certain things in there. And it felt really weird, like, yeah, what we will do with that, what we will do with that. And it's kind of weird waiting for you to die, basically.
While they're still present, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
having those
It's really
conversations. Yeah.
feels really weird, right? Because you are in between,
Mm.
kind of. But it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your mum ever try to have those conversations with you, Elena?
Um, not really, because again, this culture, like we don't talk about stuff. But in the end of like very last year, I think she sensed that she's gonna die. So we had some conversations, always at least about some topics from our lives, about our relationships. So it's a huge gift, actually. I'm really glad we had them. Not all of them, of course. I wished I had more capacity, but at the moment, I didn't have energy to ask everything. And also, it's sometimes it doesn't feel like time to have like really hard conversations when the person is sick. Right. So it's all about the balance, I guess, to address maybe something and to ask for forgiveness or find some peace with something. But yeah, like how much can you talk about difficult stuff with a sick person? And also being exhausted yourself, I guess. And also to make place for positive things, of course, peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's completely unusual. And I know our dad used to always throw out there, oh, when I'm gone, and we always say to him, don't talk like that, but it is a reality as well. So it's a fair point. Is there something that your mum would say, or a quote or a saying that has stuck with you today, or that reminds you of her?
I know the exact phrase, but as you always believed in me, a bit too much, I think. I wish to have a bit more guidance. Like parents, like they guide also the kids ideally, and I was left like on my own mostly, because she always thought that I would manage it
You would
somehow.
work it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So she always said, "I know you're smart, go for it." She was not really involved in my life, but I think this strong belief in my own capabilities, I inherited that from her. Yeah.
Is there anything today, whether that be nature or a movie or a piece of music, or I know she didn't cook much, it might be a food that reminds you of her?
The food would be terrible.
Yeah.
Remind.
Terrible food,
No,
maybe?
though I do have, she strangely she liked a very specific type of bread. So back then in my childhood there was like extreme poverty, like after the Soviet Union. So we didn't have much, but we had this delicious bread, like dark bread, I think rye or whatever. And she liked to eat just bread with sweet dark black tea. Exactly this combination her whole life, and it reminds me of her. So sometimes I do the same. Yeah, this bread and tea. I mean, whatever that means.
It's simple, but it's a nice connection to her. Luke,
Yeah.
do you
Other
have
than
any? Oh, sorry, Elena, keep going.
no, no, it's okay. It's okay. Please.
Luke, did you have any final questions for Elena? I've got a final question for her before I ask that. Do you have any other questions?
No, you can have the floor, mate. You can go for it.
Okay.
Ask her that.
Okay.
Save the juicy
Ask her the
ones.
hard,
Yeah,
hard
this is
questions.
traditionally, Elena, this is the hardest question of the podcast. It's not crazy, but traditionally it's the most difficult one. If your mum was here today, what do you think she would say to you? Or what probably I normally say that for the Patreon. So what would you actually say to her?
I would say thank you for her life that she dedicated to us to a big extent. That I really appreciate it because I think I didn't say it enough as a young woman back then. And now I understand it more because I'm also like heading towards like 40, and that is the age when she had us already like as adult kids, and I would really love to talk to her as an adult woman and to be friends with her as an adult woman and not like as a young woman just figuring it out somehow. It is also sweet, but like it's another quality of connection, of course. So I would say to her, thank you, Mom, for everything you've done, and you showed us or me, and that you believe in me.
That's beautiful. Well, Elena, thank you very much. It was wonderful hearing about your mum, and thank you so much for giving up your time and talking to us about both the difficult times, but also the fond memories that you have, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to talk to you. It's actually my first time I talk about my mom, like publicly in the form of podcast. So I felt very nervous, but also excited.
Wow.
Thank
Well,
you.
the honor is
You did
all
well.
ours. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Luke, that was Elena from Berlin in Germany.
Elena Winkelmann, was that?
I think it's. Oh, I didn't ask. I didn't clarify at all. I
Winkelmann.
think it was. I think it's Winkelmann.
Winkelmann.
Yeah, Germans normally pronounce, so even though she has
Mm.
Russian heritage, and
Mm.
that was interesting. That was such an interesting chat. It's the first person that we've had from, well, Russia, her origins, but also from Berlin in Germany. So I'm not sure where we categorize where
She can
she's
take
from, but
both.
but
She
but
can have
even
both.
yeah, even Elena said herself in the Patreon chat. There's a nice segue that she classifies where she tells people that she's just from Berlin. She doesn't say either or country. So we have given a little bit of sneak peek away there for people. Make sure you get involved with our Patreon if you want to hear that exclusive chat with Elena. It was awesome. She spoke
That was
about
great.
culture. She spoke about her little group chat that she had. We spoke about her sister a little bit more. So if you aren't a Patreon member, it's fairly inexpensive. $6 a month US, about $9-10 a month Australian, to get access to those exclusive chats that we have with our members, and a way to support the podcast as well. But back to Elena, that was a fantastic chat. It was wonderful having her on.
Yeah, that was great.
Had a lot of
That was really good.
cultural undertones and other mixed things with the family, but it was wonderful having her on. As she mentioned, it was the first time talking about her mum openly in public and on a
Mm.
podcast, so that was really cool as well that we could be that platform.
I'm interested to see the village. I wish I could,
Yes.
because she's going in 2 weeks' time. I wish we could just piggyback and just have a look at the village, have a look
Yeah.
at rural Russian lifestyle, because you and I would have absolutely no idea what that would look like. And I'm sure most of our
I'm sure
listeners.
a lot of listeners would be the same. Yeah. Maybe we
Mm.
can organize an exclusive live stream for our Patreon members.
The first
The very first.
Russian live stream. But I wonder what if you listen back, Elena, you'll have to comment and let us know if it's colder in Berlin or
Mm,
Russia. Because
yeah.
I didn't ask that in the Patreon.
Well, it'll be their summer over there, wouldn't it? I think at the moment.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
know
but
Berlin gets
traditionally in
freezing.
winter, you mean? Yeah. Gotcha.
Mm,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, not in
Yeah.
summer. That's
No,
not the yeah.
that would be interesting. Oh, that was a wonderful chat. I'm really glad that Elena came on. It was wonderful hearing about Olga. Obviously, not wonderful hearing about her, passing away, but really nice hearing about the stories and memories that Elena had of her. And it sounds as though it's brought her and her sister closer together. Again, sneak peek. She mentioned that in the Patreon chat. So get involved if you're not on the Patreon. Reminder to our wonderful listeners: if you enjoyed that episode with Elena, family, and any of our episodes for that matter, and give us a rating and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. That'll help us show up on the podcast where people are searching for grief related stuff. we hope to show up on there and be able to be a part of helping people through their grief journey. 5 stars, of course, but ideally, give us 5 stars.
Always.
That'd be
Always 5
fantastic. So
stars.
we show up. Rate and review, get on Patreon. We've got the My Legacy Message service as well, as always, mylegacymessage.com.au, so you can leave a video message to your loved ones, to your family or friends after you pass, often as a surprise. I think that's it. And follow us on socials, of course. That's the last thing I need to mention. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're on all of those as well. So jump on there and give us some support on there. That would be fantastic. Thank you, Elena, again for jumping on and speaking to us today. You're welcome back. As I mentioned to you as well before you left, we know you've had multiple grief dealings, but also from a professional sense, you do a lot of work in that grief space as well. So we'd love to chat to you more there. Thank you, Luke, for joining us. Ryan, enjoy your treescape, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for joining us. It was another great chat, and hope to see you soon. I will see you at the next one, no doubt.
Hopefully, definitely. I'm not going to take any more retreats. And I like what Elena said at the end of the conversation. Thank you, Mark and Luke. So not Ryan.
Not for Ryan.
So I really enjoyed that. That was
that was my highlight.
That was my highlight.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. Thanks, mate.
Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Have a good night.
The Remembering Them podcast is created for entertainment purposes. Mark, Ryan, and Luke are not licensed mental health professionals. If you would like to discuss your mental well-being, several resources are available in Australia. Information about these services is available in the podcast notes. Please take the time to contact a loved one today and tell them how much you appreciate and love them.